everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a tag video. Like most of these tag videos, I was not tagged. I just saw the tag video and went, I tagged myself, I want to do it. So here I am doing it. I actually saw Books for MKs do this. Books for Mission Kids. That's her channel name. I saw her do this and I actually thought it was a really cool idea. I didn't plan to do this video. I actually planned on doing my top favorites today, but I don't have a whole lot of time to film, so we're doing a tag video, so it's nice and easy filming wise. Question number 1, what has been the most influential library in your life? That is the Nevins Library, the Nevins Memorial Library in Methuen, Massachusetts. That's actually the library I grew up in. Basically. I didn't live there, but I basically grew up there. When I was very small, my dad took me there to get my very first library card. And that was pretty much my library growing up until I moved to Florida. And then when I moved back from Florida, we actually moved right back to Methuen. And so I just continued going back to that library. That was my very first job. I was a page at this library. Being a page in this library pretty much meant that you did the grunt work for the librarians. Like you shelved books that were checked in, you did shelf reading, and at the time we still had those due date cards that needed to be stamped, and at the time we still had that, and so that was part of my job. I had to take like an hour or two to like stamp a bunch of cards. Question number 2, honest assessment. What will they title your biography? I mean, I like to think any biography about me, whether or not I write it, will be called Hobson's Choice because I love a good pun. If you're not aware of what Hobson's Choice is, it's basically a little saying that means take it or leave it, and I like to think that that's how I lived my life. Well, you can either take me or leave me. That's probably hoping for a lot. This would be a very good pun too. Overdue, the tale of a girl who's always late. I'm really struggling to think of a third one. If you can think of an even better one than Hobson's Choice or Overdue, let me know down in the comments below. Question number 3, the story from your life that you most hope your librarian never finds out. Well, my boss is a librarian and she kind of knows this story though. I was once really late to work because I fell on my butt on the way to the train station. And how I fell. Alright, let's rewind a little bit. In order to get to the train station from my house, I have to go down this bridge, and there's a little shortcut that I go over the guardrail and down a set of wooden steps, or I can go all the way around into the parking lot into the train station. During the winter, they do not shovel or clear these steps here. I cannot take those steps when it's either very snowy, very rainy, slippery of any kind. It's not safe to take those steps. But I was running so late for this train and I did not want to have to take an Uber because I just didn't want to have, I didn't have the money, or I just was trying to be better about my money. I can't remember. But I was like, no, we are taking these steps. It was snowy. There was a lot of snow there. It just snowed and it rained that day. So we had a nice sheen of ice on top of this snowbank. So instead of going down these steps, I basically had a snow slope that I went, no, there's no way I'm going to go down this safely, so I'm just going to bite the bullet, go on my butt, and then slide down this snow slope, which would have been fine had I not had a bunch of sticks here. So when I went down this slope, my butt hit quite a few of these sticks, and one of them hit my sciatica. I'm like, oh god, that hurt. But I got up, started walking towards the train station, but it actually hurt more with every step I took. And it got to the point when I finally made it to the train tracks. It was agonizing. I could not take another step. It hurt so much that I couldn't even sit on a bench that was right in front of me. I just laid on the ground. And of course, I'm wearing this really puffy yellow jacket with the fur along the hood. And so all you saw was this like yellow lump on the ground. It was just agonizing, and I was terrified that I was going to have to like call for an ambulance because at this point it had been about 5 minutes and I still could not walk. But eventually I see the train coming and I'm still on the ground, this yellow marshmallow on the ground. And the train comes and then they stop and I can see that they're waiting for me. And I did like one of these with my sleeve, like, just go, just leave me here. Let me just die of embarrassment right here. One day, maybe I'll find my way home. And then you just cut to my husband at the window. Will my wife ever return from the war? And cut back to me, just springtime flowers. I'm still in this ugly yellow coat. Anyways, with my little sleeve, I'm like, just go, just leave me here. They think I'm calling for help. And so conductors start leaving this train. They come over to me like, hey, just so you know, we've called for help. We called for an ambulance. I'm like, please do not do that. Please cancel that. I don't know if I can actually afford an ambulance. If I went through all this hassle to not take an Uber, there's no way I'm getting onto like this $500 ambulance. Most likely with my insurance, it probably would have been closer to the $100 mark, but I didn't want to risk it. Like, no, I don't want to spend that kind of money. We're going back and forth, and eventually I go, do I have to take this ride on the ambulance? And they're like, no, you can actually, decline help, but we gotta get going. Can you get up and come with us? And I was like, no, I'm just gonna walk home. Thank you, though. Thank you, bye. All right, bye. And they get on the train and head out. Because at this point, I can actually get up now and kind of like limp across. I eventually call an Uber just so I can make my way to work because I still needed to work. And after everything was said or done, everyone was surprised to see me because I had called ahead saying, look, I don't know if I can come in. I fell and I'm like in a lot of pain. And so I come in and I was just really late because I fell on my butt. And I caused this giant scene at my train station. As far as my boss knew, I was just late. I was late because I fell and I just needed to get help and then I'm fine and so I can come in. So she doesn't know that whole story. She just knows that I did fall. That is the one story I hope that my boss librarian never finds out. I hope that amused you. That was very long-winded and I hope it being so long-winded was worth it. Question number 4, what is your favorite word? There's a lot of good words out there. All right, so if you're new to this channel, which if you're watching it, probably doubtful, but I have a mouth of a sailor on me. I try to be better about it, but I have such a terrible mouth on me. I'm constantly swearing. But my favorite swear word actually isn't a swear word. It's Jehoshaphat. I just think it's so ridiculous and so fun, and it's definitely within the like rated G side of things, so I can express my displeasure or my shock and make somebody laugh in the process without offending them with the F word or anything like that. I know with some of my family members, they're more offended by saying the Lord's name in vain than an actual swear word, so this also kind of like covers my boundaries there. Who is Jehoshaphat, by the way? Is he a prophet? Question number 5. 3 weird things of which you are afraid and one way you would prefer not to die. So I'm terrified, absolutely terrified of bugs, mostly bees and wasps. I know bees are pretty harmless, but wasps, spiders, anything larger than maybe like half the size of a dime really bothers me. So anything larger than this, I'm like, ugh. Second thing I'm really scared of is heights. Terrified of heights. I still make myself go on a lot of these roller coasters and rides because I know that once I get past a certain point, I do enjoy the rest of the ride. So I know with roller coasters, that like initial hill, my eyes are clamped shut until I get over this hill, and then I'm right about here is when I finally open my eyes. And choking. Terrified of choking. Whenever I have to take my pills, which is every night. I don't know why I worded it that way. I think I meant to say every time I have to take a pill. Every time I have to take a pill, it's like this, I don't know, back and forth with the water glass. For the longest time, I couldn't take pills with water simply because, I don't know, I had in my head that it was just easier with like orange juice or soda or something, because I feel like if I don't taste the actual pill, then it's easier to take. I think that's what it is. I'm okay with smaller pills with water. But even then, I put my pill in first, and I take this giant gulp of waters or drink or whatever, where my cheeks are basically like pretty extended, and I'm like this, and I have to get the pill all the way to the back of my mouth first before I swallow it. And of course, it takes a couple goes before it like sits just right in the back of my mouth. I actually almost died by choking when I was very, very young. When I was a toddler, not even a year, maybe 2 years old. I actually somehow got the eraser on one of those erasable pens. It swallowed it, it gets stuck here, and my mom had to perform the Heimlich on me while I think my dad called 911. I think he froze at first and eventually called 911. I obviously can't remember this incident, but most likely just to this day, just maybe subconscious. I'm just terrified of choking. And one way I would prefer not to die choking. I don't want to die by choking, obviously. I don't want to die in any way that I see it coming. I know books from MK said the exact same thing, but I don't want to see it coming. Like, I don't want to fall and then I'm like 20 feet off of the ground and I see the like cement road coming fast at me. Like if a car is going to hit me, I'd rather a car hit me from behind so I can't see it coming. I just don't want to see it coming. Question number 6, your favorite book as a grade schooler. Oh wow. When I was young, I loved the Henry and Mudge series. Oh, and Frog and Toad Are Friends. I love those series, and I think those books hold a special place in my heart because they were like one of the first books I was able, like chapter books, I was able to read on my own. Granted, they were like low-level chapter books, like I can read chapter books. Those books will forever hold a special place in my heart. Like I gravitate to them whenever I see them in a bookstore. Question number 7, what have your interactions with the police been like? Wow, when you say nosy, you mean nosy. The first interaction I had with the police, I was very young, about 6 years old maybe. And my parents were going through this awful divorce. And my dad did something that upset me and my 2 sisters. And we're like, you know what, we're leaving. We're gonna like walk to mom's house and then live with mom for the rest of our lives. Well, honestly, my mom lived in New Hampshire and we were in Methuen, Massachusetts at the time, so it would have been quite the long walk. No, she was in Lawrence, Massachusetts, I think, at the time. Either way, it was still crossing city lines as a 6-year-old with no car, so I wasn't getting far. And so my sisters and I, we made this like diabolical plan to just like leave one morning. Like we didn't even invite my brother. I don't know why we didn't invite my brother-in-law. We just didn't. I remember that morning putting a little stuffed baby Miss Piggy in the bed, tucking her in. You saw her face on the pillow, but I was kind of hoping that this would trick my dad into thinking, no, this is totally me. And then we just started walking. We had a bag. I remember having one of those blankets that like zipped up as into a bag and having this bag filled with clothes. And I just remember all the money we had was a bunch of pennies in a Ziploc bag. And that's everything we had on us. And I remember walking down the streets trying to console my little sister because, you know, she was the only one that had any lick of sense between the 3 of us. And she was getting upset because this possibly could have been the worst decision we've ever made. And I'm trying to console her and I see the cop car driving down the road and stop where we were. And he goes, are you the Hobson girls? I think you may be the Hobson girls. All right, your dad's worried sick about you. I'm here to just take you home. And he takes us home and we were really worried that we were in trouble. The guy was very understanding. He was like, no, you're not in trouble. In fact, do you want to hear the alarm, like the little flashing lights go off? Yeah, absolutely. So that was a fun ride in this cop car. And that was the one and only interaction I've ever had with the police. Question number 8, all-time favorite book cover. I mean, I don't necessarily have a favorite book cover. I like really simple looking book covers. I don't like it when there's a person on the cover, and I like when the texture is really soft or it's pretty shiny. Oh, this is a good example of what I mean. This isn't necessarily my favorite book cover, but I like when covers are more open to interpretation like this. I actually don't necessarily mind seeing a cartoon human on the cover. I just don't like seeing like a picture of a human on the cover. I don't know why. I just don't like it. Question number 9, how many places have you lived? So Derry, Salem, Methuen, Amherst. So I lived in 7 places. I didn't say where I am now because I don't want to share that with people I don't know on the internet. And question number 10, tag 11 booktubers that you like and admire, and why do you like and or admire them? 11, that's such a very specific number. We have Sylvia from Wish Fulfillment. I love how critically she reads her books and how critically she reviews them. I love Alex over at The Reading Puppet. When she first started her channel, she was too nervous to be on camera, so she used a puppet to kind of like talk through until she got comfortable enough to be on camera. I don't believe she posted anything on her YouTube channel in a while, but I loved how like she had that personal growth for her. Oh, we have Brunette Bibliophile. I love how kind she was when we first met at BookNet Fest. She did not hesitate in inviting me along to Disney World after BookNet Fest. Like, yeah, I'll totally give you a ride back and forth. Kindness rocks. I'm basically going through my sub feed right now. Oh, we have A.G. McDonald. This guy animates all of his videos and he makes it a point to post every stinking day. Imagine animating and doing that every day. Incredibly impressive. Oh, and we have Felicia over at Little Prairie Library. She's just such a nice, cool, sweet little bean. I love her. Literary Diversions. She is hilarious. I love how sassy she is. Oh, we have Citina Loves to Read. She is just really kind and really supportive of everyone on BookTube. Every time I find somebody new, she has already commented on that video. She's incredibly supportive and very nice. You know what? Thoughts on Tomes and My Name is Marina's. Oh god, I've lost track. Was that 10? Yeah. Thoughts on Tomes and My Name is Marina's. They created a really awesome like conference, if you want to like call it that, BookNet Fest. They didn't really appreciate how the BookTube community and the bookish community online was being treated at BookCon and Book Expo, and so they created their own little conference or convention just so we can all get together without like that judgment over there, which is really awesome. And I've lost track. I think I only have to do one more, but I'm going to do two more just for good measure. We have Aoife over at Fred Weasley Died Laughing. I love like the videos that she produces. I love her little intro too, which I'm pretty sure you just heard because I like went to play one of her videos. And one more for good measure. Oh, obviously Read with Cindy. There's a bunch of other booktubers that I did not mention, and they are so great, and I just don't have the time to list everybody. But Read with Cindy, she's very funny, very sassy. I love her like don't give a attitude. Yes, please. And that's it. That's all I have to do for this video. This was a lot of fun. This was great just talking about my past like that. I hope y'all were nosy enough to actually enjoy a few of these stories. I consider myself a very nosy librarian, so if you want to do this tag, and I did not mention you in this video, still consider yourself tagged. I really want to see some of your answers. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I guess it's ta-ta for now. Bye, guys.